Hello, and thank you for joining me here today. I'm going to be talking about my lateral pelvic tilt, how I got it, how I corrected it, and some extra bonus information that I'd like to share with you if you or someone you know is dealing with this problem currently. It's really caused me a lot of issues over the last 5 years or so. It's just really gotten out of hand. For my friends out there that know me, they might have seen me walking and thought, gee, well, this guy kind of walks a little bit funny, and yeah, well, this is a major reason why. So eventually, with enough chiropractic care, physical therapy, and meeting with enough people, we did figure out that the collapsed arch down there was leading to the majority of my pelvic tilt, including doing things like sleeping on my side at night and standing or leaning to one side. Depending on what I'm doing, there was clearly an imbalance. And it's kind of funny that my channel's name is Balancing Life. I guess that's what we're here to discover, guys. So let's get into it. We're going to start with my feet at the bottom, work the way up. I've got a few x-rays I want to share with you, so let's take a look at that. I have a flat foot with a pronated ankle on my left side. This goes all the way up through my knee to my hips, as you can see here. And it's clearly tilted in my x-ray here. That looks pretty bad, I know, right? And then it goes up my mid-back, putting a curve there, and then eventually upward and throwing my neck out. So this causes a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain. It's more than just muscle fatigue. Those muscles get really locked up. The good news is, after I've put in about 6 months of physical therapy, plenty of chiropractic work, yoga, been learning lots of different techniques on how to fix this issue, I finally had some great success. And eventually I plan to post my updated x-rays down in the description box below, since I won't have everything updated for this video. But I want to get into some of these great tips for you guys, and we're going to jump into orthotics to start. But if you think you're dealing with an issue like this, meet with some professionals, like a good physical therapist, a chiropractor, and get evaluated to see what's going on to better help you figure out your body and understand yourself better. First, I want to cover orthotics. Now, originally I started off with some orthotics, and it was helping me out for a few months. But the problem with it was it didn't actually resolve the problem. The connection between the arch and the pelvic tilt was unknown to me at that time. So I was very reliant on wearing arch supports. Now I really try to avoid wearing arch supports if I can help it, to keep my arches strong, because I've worked hard to build up those arches, and they can fall apart and become weak pretty easily, especially if they're already very low or fully collapsed. When I got mine checked out, I was told that it was a full collapse. So, you know, if you are thinking about getting an orthotic, maybe you need it once in a while to help support your arches, or just take a load off from a long day of work or something like that, then I'd recommend the Powerstep Pinnacle series. This is the Maxx series from Powerstep. They're pretty good. They usually run about $22 to $35 online, with free shipping depending on where you're getting it. If you're going locally, they are going to jack up that price 2 or 3 times, so just keep an eye out for that. If you look down here, you're going to see my arch that comes up through here. It's not as high as a lot of people's. That's because this arch was originally fallen, and I've gone through a lot of exercises to help strengthen this arch up through here. I'm going to leave some links in the description for you to check out from different guys like Athlean-X that talk about how to correct your arches. And if you have a physical therapist, they can probably walk you through how to do that as well. Originally, I did BMX racing a lot. I did it for 2 years. I went through a lot of crashes, and after that I was pretty sedentary for a while. So there's many good reasons for a lot of my musculature being weak in certain areas, in my low back, in my pelvis, in the glutes, hamstrings, all those different areas. So you might have, or if you're dealing with something like I am, you might have some muscle issues where some are tighter or weaker than others. I'm going to leave some links in the description to help you fine-tune and better understand that. Since I'm not a physical therapist or a chiropractor, that's not my specialty, but since I have been going to these therapies physical therapy, chiropractic sessions, it's really helped me get things into alignment over time. It could take you several months, maybe even up to a year. You know, it's taken me at least 6 to 7 months just to get to where I'm at, and I was in really bad shape. So don't give up on yourself, keep going, you will figure this out. I'm just giving you the best advice that I can offer at this current time. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll make some more videos updating this if I can come to better understand it. So on to the next tip. A big thing that can really cause issues, for me anyway, is side sleeping. When you go to sleep at night on your side, that can hike up your hip a little bit, and if you're dealing with an issue like this, it just seems to irritate the area. You get up in the morning and you're already out of alignment. So I've learned to fall asleep on my back. Super difficult to learn how to do, especially if you've been doing it your whole life. I've been doing it my whole life. And my recommendation to you is, if you want to give it a shot, give it a go. Maybe it can help you out too. Another thing is, if you're standing up and you are just moving around like this, example, try to get in the shot here, and you lean to one side like this, okay, that can really mess up that balance, and you do not want to mess that up, especially when you're sleeping on your side at night and you've got this tilt going on. That can also mess things up too. So just be aware of that. Be careful, because if you're really sensitive like I was going through this, it makes it a lot more difficult to heal, especially with all those nerves running through your spine. So, bonus tip 1.5. I'd recommend not only getting your feet checked out, and if you really need to, maybe consider getting an x-ray, but if you're having a lateral pelvic tilt, it might be a decent idea to get an x-ray done. You can usually find a chiropractor that'll do it, or what you can do is get an assessment from a physical therapist. Typically they can check that out, and you may not need to get an x-ray done, but it's important that you find some type of specialist to confirm that that's what you're dealing with. Ice, ice, baby. Tip number 2. What I want to share with you is to get some ice on these regions. If your low back is in pain, or you're dealing with some regions down there that are ouchy and inflamed, get some ice on it. I usually do about a 5, maybe even an 8-minute session of ice on that region, and I will even consider doing a cold shower sometimes to help relieve some of that inflammation. It's become very helpful. So those first several months, I was just icing daily, every single day, all the time. And I found it to really help relieve the pain and speed up the healing process. So I do recommend it, primarily over heat. Now, I've done the heat, I've done the cold. I found the cold to be more helpful in that recovery process. Number 3, definitely intaking anti-inflammatory foods. So there's things like ginger, garlic, turmeric, especially the ginger. If you're looking for some decent pain relief, I would consider getting into some nice ginger. You know, I'll just break a piece off of this and chew it up and swallow it. It's pretty potent stuff. It's going to burn a little, but once it goes down, it provides some good pain relief. You can even make like ginger tea. You can boil it, or you can juice some ginger. You will get a little bit more accustomed to how it tastes and the burn. It takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but that's okay. If you're really into spicy hot food, not saying this is for everyone, but if you're into really spicy food, I found that cayenne can be a pretty good pain reliever too sometimes. But yeah, definitely try to focus on eating a more plant-based diet, because there's a lot of anti-inflammatory properties in that food. I've just found it to be really helpful for my inflammation and things I'm dealing with. I've been whole foods, plant-based for a year. I've been vegan for about 2.5 years. So it's really helped me a lot in this recovery process. Another thing I wanted to bring up with the arches is number 4. And this is because when you're dealing with building up those arches again, if you have like an arch falling on the one side, that's giving you a tilt, or your feet are just really sore in general, what I found to work super well, probably more than anything, is kind of some of the Wim Hof style method, where you take a bucket, a nice, just to bring it up enough above the ankles, take some ice cold water, put it in there, grab a huge thing of ice chunks, maybe some ice cubes, put put it in there too, mix it up, give it a minute or two to balance out that temperature down to 32, 34 degrees Fahrenheit. And I plunge my feet in there for a full 3 minutes and then just breathe through it. Pull them out after that. The rest of the day, my feet feel great. So it is difficult, but this is part of why you see a lot of these professional athletes dive into these buckets or barrels or whatever full of ice and water, and it's super cold, but they do it because it helps their body recover faster. And this is something that might be of help to you. If you can't go that far, then at least maybe try the icing out. That's what I would recommend. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or you want to share something else with the audience. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and hit the bell icon for future videos if you want to see some more of my content. And on top of it, I also did one on my neck for restoring my cervical curvature, and I also did one on my anterior pelvic tilt. Very difficult to go through as well. So if you want to see those, check it out on my channel. Other than that, you take good care and have a great day.